What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the End Zone. Go ahead and comment down below if you're out there moving the chains. We are probably going to have a smaller stream, which is good for those who are already in the stream because this stream has been pushed back. Usually we're on Mondays, but I had some things come up. So we have been pushed back twice, which is, a little bit hectic. But with that being said, let's go ahead and before I get to questions, I am going to go over the USFL Week 9 games. I thought it would be fun to do them live. And one thing I will say about these USFL games is that unfortunately in the league right now, there are a handful of 1-7 teams. So late in the season, some of the matchups don't really look exciting. With that being said, let's get right into it. We have the Generals 7-1 on June 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, also on NBC and Peacock, playing the Panthers 1-7. To me, it's again a 7-1 team versus a 1-7 team. They have those records for a reason. The Generals are going to maintain possession of the football, play solid defense. And the Panthers, they saw a spark of offense last week with a new quarterback in. It wasn't perfect, but it was better than what we've usually seen with the likes of Shea Patterson. Defensively, though, they were just awful. So they're going to have to step it up, but this is an easy pick for me, Generals all the way. Then also on June 11th on the USA Network at 6 p.m., so kind of your prime time night game, but it's on USA instead of having it on NBC. I find that kind of weird. There must be some type of scheduling conflict. That's also Eastern time. The Houston Gamblers versus the Birmingham Stallions. This is another game where it's like, oh, I wonder who's going to win this one. It's most likely going to be Birmingham, especially because the Houston Gamblers have just been hurt so badly by injuries as of late. So very unfortunate for Houston, by the way. They were a team that was really in it, and they had a lot of hope. They just had a lot of these games where they were incredibly close late in the fourth quarter, and they didn't step up to the task. And while that's unfortunate, that's also sports, and Houston has not lived up to the hype, although they definitely had potential. We also have two more Sunday games. So June 12th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox, our game of the week. This is going to be the game that everybody, if you're a USFL fan, needs to watch. The Tampa Bay Bandits versus the New Orleans Breakers. The Bandits have slowly been winning and getting back into the conversation, while the Breakers, who we thought kind of had a hold on that second position in the Southern playoffs, well, it doesn't seem that way right now. They've been playing kind of their worst football in the USFL. So I will say this. I do think that the Bandits will win this game and they will clinch, but there's a lot on the line because Tampa Bay, not the Bandits, the Breakers, two teams with Bs. But Tampa Bay has to win this game to get in, and they actually have to win out, so it's playoff mode. The problem is the inconsistency that we've seen so far from Tampa Bay this season. Now, the Breakers haven't been perfect, especially because of the injuries with Kyle Sloter and such, but the Breakers are still a better team, in my opinion. And I know that their records aren't very far off, and the Breakers played poorly last week. I think that they bounced back after that loss to Birmingham. And I do think, though, that they're significantly a better team than Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's, I don't know, they're just too inconsistent for me. But I like Kyle Sloter. I like the Breakers defense and what they bring to the table. Our final game of week 9, the Stars sitting at 5-3 versus the Pittsburgh Maulers, June 12th, 7:30 Eastern Time, Fox Sports 1. Listen, I don't really need to break much down for this game. This is going to be what I think it could be a bloodbath. The Stars are the hottest team in the USFL right now. They're playing lights out, especially offensively. Now, the defense, it's not too much to look at. I mean, it's not that great, but the Maulers are so bad it doesn't even matter. Kirby Wilson's a horrible coach. He should be getting fired pretty soon. All right. I know that was a pretty quick rundown of the games, but I didn't want to miss out on any of your questions, so I had to get through those really quickly. Let's go ahead and dive in to the mailbag. Drew, is there any streaming platform for MLFB? I haven't seen any news on that, and we could not get one in year one, this kind of test year. That could be a possibility. I mean, I assume that at the very least it'll be on YouTube, Twitch, something like that. We don't know if it will be on TV, if it'll be televised. Looks like we have some comments about the MLFB. Yep, saw that. Also, the Arkansas attack was unveiled today. I'm still waiting on that fourth team to be released. And unless I missed something, there was just so much news today. But I'm waiting to do the second half of the team's video. Then I'm going to be doing a logo ranking and a team ranking, kind of like that. But we've covered the coaches. We've covered a lot with Major League Football. They even signed their first quarterback. So tons of news. And yes, again, Major League Football, for those of you who don't know, is a publicly traded pro football league. So that's how it makes it very unique. It's very different in terms of the football leagues that we've gotten so far. All right. Do you think the XFL will go back to the original logo? So I assume that you're talking about the Megan Rapinoe athlete. I'm blanking on the name of the business. If someone could type that down below. I don't think that there's really any basis on them to take down the XFL's new logo. I really don't see it. I mean, there's so many companies that use an interlocked X that's black and white, and their logo doesn't even really look like the XFL's logo when you compare other logos that look more like the XFL logo. In fact, their logo looks a lot like they ripped it off from other companies. So we'll see what happens, but I doubt that anything really is going to hurt the XFL. Where will MLFB be broadcasted? That's a mouthful. TV streaming, we'll find out soon enough. Yep, that is true. We will be finding out soon enough. Could be CBS, something like that, maybe. You know, who knows? NFL Network? We really just have to wait. Panthers game could be interesting. It could be. I don't know. The Generals are hot right now. Defensively, I oh gosh, I love their secondary. There's so much to like about them. And, you know, they're pushing for the playoffs. Maybe they rest players. We haven't seen any teams really resting players yet. But, you know, maybe Michigan gets a win. Who knows? It's pro football. You never know. Okay, so there's your answer for the night game on USA. Who's your MLFB team? I'm waiting for the fourth team to be released. So right now we have the Ohio Force, the Virginia Armada, and the Arkansas Attack. I will answer my favorite MLFB team so far is the Virginia Armada. I think that their logo is brilliant. And they're my spoiler alert, number one logo so far because I think it looks awesome. I love the colors. And I think it's cool to have a team in Virginia, you know, changing it up. Yeah, but they can't tackle and they let up a lot of points, and that's what matters most. They'll announce broadcasting plans, so they have broadcasting coming soon. All right, fourth team is the Alabama Airborne. That's what we thought, probably located in Mobile. Last time I talked to Frank, that was what he told me. Has that been officially announced yet while I was on the stream? I mean, that's what I kind of thought it would be. I do want to see their logo. If it's the old Alabama Airborne logo, then I'm probably going to stick with Virginia because I think it's cooler looking. Yep, there's the Jake bring up good that they're together. Honestly, I feel like it's just a grab. I mean, I don't know anyone who's even heard of Together, this brand that Megan Rapinoe made. No slight to her, or anything, but like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Led Zeppelin. Love Led Zeppelin. Was listening to them yesterday. All right, getting through all these questions. XFL, Axe deodorant. That's a very good example. And Axe, even the official Axe Twitter tweeted out at the XFL, and it was just fun and games. So people always like to complain about things, and I think that's just Megan Rapinoe right now and her brand. And nothing could happen, but honestly, from their standpoint, Together's standpoint, their point of view, not many people know who they are. They're not really that big. Well, more people know about them now because they're in the news with the XFL and Dwayne the Rock Johnson, right? So I guess it is good for them, even if they don't win. Is the MLFB a bubble? No, they're actually playing in their local markets. So they have the stadiums. I posted a video recently on, excuse me, the stadiums that they're in. Um, so that's Ohio for the Ohio Force. That's in Canton, Ohio. Virginia is playing at the Sportsplex, and Arkansas is playing in what Memorial is that? I think it's Memorial Stadium. I may be wrong on that, but yeah, no, they're playing in their actual stadiums, and then I'm assuming Alabama Airborne, if it's in Mobile, they're going to be playing at South Alabama's stadium. I wouldn't want it to be in Montgomery, but that's a possibility. He mentioned Montgomery to me, but I think Mobile would be a better place for the Alabama Airborne if that is the case. And we all think it's going to be the Alabama Airborne. Again, I'm not saying that is official at all, but the Airborne are on the website, and they were the Alabama Airborne last time this league was launching. Frank Murtha's talked about having an Alabama team. We know that they met in Mobile. So context clues tells us that it's going to be Alabama Airborne in Mobile. And there you go. There's kind of your answer. The Alabama Airborne is on the website, or sorry, the Airborne, not Alabama, is on the website. Is the MLFB going to have different rules or something else to make it distinct from other spring leagues? From the conversations I've had with Frank Murtha, he wants to keep it very much like the National Football League. He wants to keep it as a league that lines up with the NFL to get players going from there to the NFL. I don't think they're going to make many drastic changes, if any at all. Maybe you could see some like unique AAF like rules, but nothing drastic. I don't think they'll have a tiered extra point system. They might have the 4th and 12 onside kick thing where instead of doing an onside kick, you could do the 4th and 12 conversion, which I like, honestly. But I don't think that they're going to have many drastic rules, if any at all. It's going to be pretty much identical to NFL football. In fact, I think it's going to be 2 feet to catch it, things like that. I think that they're going to do the clocks the same way because they want it to be as much like the NFL as possible. Did the Oklahoma Nation fall through? Well, it could be the Oklahoma Airborne. Highly unlikely, but yeah, it does look like the Oklahoma Nation will not have a team. Yeah, great point. 50,000 seats for War Memorial in Arkansas. It's a lot of seats to fill, and I'm interested to see. I was thinking about this last night, how the MLFB locally is going to get people in their markets, get people in the seats, and to actually watch these games. I'll be watching them, but I just don't know how they've done that, because this is very like, I hope they have people hired in local markets to sell tickets, things like that. But it's a lot. There's a lot of logistics going into building up a football league. Oh, sorry, I skipped through some questions when we get back. Huntsville, Alabama. So I've been to Huntsville a couple times. It's actually, there was an article about it being like one of the best places to live and one of the, like the fastest growing cities in America. I just don't think they have a stadium. That's one of the biggest issues. But if they had a stadium, that would be an awesome place. When I worked for the actually, I don't know if I can say that. Let's just say this. Huntsville hasn't not been on the map for football leagues. Let's just say that. MLFB having a YouTube channel, do you think they will have all their games on YouTube or try to get a deal with CBS or something else? A lot of people throw out there CBS, and I do that as well, just because with Fox, NBC, and ESPN taken by the other spring football leagues, there's really not many other options or places to go, but you never know where they could go. And it wouldn't be horrible to have it on YouTube. There's a lot of costs. So usually the way a lot of TV deals could work. Oh shoot. Sorry, just got a notification. Notre Dame lands 5-star quarterback CJ Carr. Let's go. I don't know if there are any Notre Dame fans in here, but this is huge for Notre Dame football and recruiting over Michigan. And he's grandson of Michigan. Oh, I'm getting off track here, but I'm really excited. I've been wanting to see a 5-star quarterback in Notre Dame, and got CJ Carr. Let's go. All right, but getting back to here, I don't know if they'll stream on YouTube, but there are pros and cons usually in these TV contracts. The league will have to pay for the cameras and all the execution, things like that, and it's very difficult to execute all that. So it could just be that they try to do it cheaper for the first year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, someone said I can't hear you talking. Is that on my end? My internet's so bad over here. Yeah, I saw the league contracts and I saw some of the details on the pay. So, and their MLFB players are not making as much as the XFL or the USFL players. So, that's also something to look at. Like if you're an MLFB fan, don't expect the big names like the XFL or even the USFL will be getting interest from in terms of players and talent wise. I don't like to be like the bearer of bad news, but a lot of this is going to come down to which league is paying the players more. And that is really, a huge factor. Not saying that everybody is for sale, but like if you have the opportunity to play in a league that's going to pay you more, that's where you're going to go. Orlando, did they get a team? They got an XFL team. I mean, it hasn't been confirmed by the league, but we pretty much know from leaks. Is Mississippi going to have a team? They will not have, or again, it could be the Mississippi Airborne, but it's probably going to be Alabama. I'll just go ahead and say I think it's going to be Alabama. I don't think that they're going to have a Mississippi team. The IFL does their games on YouTube, and I think that they do a really good job with it, but they have way bigger fan base. More people have heard of IFL than compared to Major League Football. And they do, I mean, decent, I guess, in their local markets. But yeah, it is a good point. IFL does their games on YouTube, and they do pretty well. I've watched a couple games. They're really fun. CJ needed to stay home. Nah. And we're coming for Dante Moore too, taking over the state of Michigan. Okay, Keith, other people are saying they can hear. I don't know. Maybe if it's something on my end, I really don't know. Yeah, the MLFB is paying for housing, and we also believe that the XFL is paying for housing as well. The USFL didn't don't know how to word I don't want to word this the wrong way. I mean, a lot of the players have already moved out of the hotels that the USFL players were living in because there was actually cheaper real estate and places to live outside of the hotels that they had to deal with. That being said, you know, I feel that the USFL should pay for their players to stay in the city, but that's just my take on it. The XFL and MLFB, I think that they're doing it the right way. You got to take care of the players. You got to take care of the players. They're number one. They're the first priority. Have you sent their YouTube channel videos on the MLFB? I don't quite understand your question, but if I think of what you're saying is, have I sent my YouTube videos to the MLFB? They had my videos posted on there for a while after I talked to Frank Murtha a good bit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey man, did you see anything from the ELF opening weekend? No, your question is more than welcome. So I've been trying to find a co-host to do a live stream ELF like I'm going to do with the CFL. I'm going to do live stream after the opening week of the CFL. I'm going to do week 2, week 3, so on to talk about it. I can't really watch many of the games. Like I watch the highlights, but that's all. Actually, one of my friends is playing in the ELF for the Centurions, I believe. Trey King, running back, and he had a pretty nice day out there. I was really excited to see him. He had wanted to play in the USFL. I guess he just never really got in because a lot of people wanted to play in the USFL who just didn't get a chance. It doesn't mean that they were worse or better or anything. It's just some of the coaches came in there having an idea of who they wanted. They didn't really have tryouts for the league. So it's kind of just like blind dating, like taking in a lot of players. That was also one of my issues with the USFL is how they were able to pull in players. They didn't do what the XFL is doing. They didn't do these big talent searches like the XFL had done. And I'm excited, though, again, that Trey King is overseas and playing well. Interesting option for MLFB broadcasting on Turner. So like TBS, that'd be interesting. Would be fun. Oh, yes, I have watched some of the gets me every time. MLFB YouTube channel videos. Yeah, they actually had really interesting like podcast style videos, and I really enjoyed them with the coaches, and you get a good sense of the league. Now, I like transparency. It's what I'm all about. And they're very transparent. Now, they have to be transparent because of the law and stuff, but I really enjoyed them. So 1 second. MLFB is going to do a docu-series. Yeah, Frank Murtha had talked about that, and then I covered that on I think that video was a couple weeks ago when I found out about that, and I think that's a major win for Major League Football. The USFL TV series has been nothing short of incredible. So revealing, so awesome. Getting to see all of those. and just really connecting with the players. That's part of it. Maybe the players don't really have to be super big, but if you're able to connect with them, then they can make names for themselves. And I think that's a really, really good strategy for the MLFB. You've seen the Canadian Football League doing that as well, and it's really invested me into a lot of these teams. And I think that is a really awesome thing that Major League Football is doing. And I think a lot of people are going to watch because of that. Because with YouTube, if they put that on YouTube, they could get some exposure. They could get more views. I'll definitely be talking about it, kind of like I've talked about United by Football on some of the live streams. And hopefully all of y'all watch that, because I think that's going to be extremely fun to watch. You watch Trey live in the European game, or did you watch him at Texas Tech? Love to know that. He was really good at Texas Tech. He just, think it's not always really plain and simple and easy for a lot of these guys going into football. New York Guardians, it doesn't. Now, I'll say this. It seems like 7 of the teams are pretty much locked in. And Las Vegas is a team that I feel like is on the bubble. Like, it could be in the league, could not be in the XFL. If it's not Las Vegas, then maybe it's New York, but it's not looking great for New York. Yeah, there's a quick comment that, we're getting San Antonio, the 3 Texas teams in the USFL. A lot of people don't like that, but I think it's good to sell tickets and get views. I think that's, pretty awesome, though. I do like that they have a team in San Antonio. All right, number of games. It's a 6-game season, and championship, I believe. I don't really know about post play. I don't think they've really released anything official about the postseason play, but I do know that it's a 6-game regular season, and that should be fun. It's going to be short. It's going to be sweet, but this is also like their test season, year 1. Like, it's less than what the USFL is doing, like with their test season, technically this year. And it's going to be fun to see how they do it, trying to get more investors. And they've done a nice job, but I expect more than 6 games in year 2. They're not going to stick with 6 games. Okay, so you watched him in Europe last week, and that's actually really awesome, because I'm just super excited that he's doing well, because I love watching him. Isaiah, I hope the MLFB succeeds. I hope all these leagues succeed, because they're all opportunities for the players. They're all opportunities for the coaches, the staff members, the entrepreneurs who are trying to build up these leagues. I think it's all great opportunities for these people, and it's awesome opportunities for the fans. More football is good. And it helps the NFL. It helps me because I love watching it, and probably helps you because you love watching it. And that's what makes it beautiful. And I'm very excited for the MLFB. Hey, can y'all hear me now? Ah, there we go. Oh my gosh. Ah, there we go. Oh my gosh. Ah, there we go. Sorry, my internet here is so bad. I'm gonna get through these last questions because I think that we lost some times when the stream was crashing on my computer. Um, Let me scroll back up. So I probably missed a lot, even though it's already 6:30. Yeah, people talking about Case Cookus, the hottest quarterback in the USFL. Right now, to me, he's the best quarterback, hands down. Hands down, Case Cookus has been lighting it up. Talk about a guy whose arm strength has been incredible, ability to stretch the field, ability to get the ball out extremely quickly, and his ball placement. Last week, he had a deep ball over the middle of the field where you could only put the ball in one place, and it was pinpoint accuracy. Joel Klatt was highlighting it. I think Case Cookus could very well find himself on an NFL roster. And if he doesn't break into roster, if he's flirting with practice squad, things like that, Case Cookus very well could be one of the better quarterbacks either in the XFL or the USFL, depending if he signed that union contract. There's a lot going on right now with the USFL when he signed that contract on returning to the USFL or not, which we'll never know. But yeah, Case Cookus is a star. Will the XFL have access to old team names? I doubt they're going to do 2001 team names. Should the XFL call their championship the $1 million game or the X Bowl? The X Bowl sounds better. I like the X Bowl a lot. Think of a giant X as a trophy. That'd be pretty cool. The Stars have a shot. I really do think that the Stars can win. Their team's pretty good right now, especially it's really because of how this offense and the run game has opened up incredibly well. So here's the ELF USFL connection here with Madre London. Madre London's been pretty solid in the USFL despite being on a terrible team with terrible play callers, Kirby Wilson. But yeah, he does have big shoes to fill in the case of Madre London. Having USFL 2.0 teams in non NFL cities is genius. Those two cities are Memphis, Tennessee, Sacramento, California. I think that a Sacramento team would be cool. I'll be honest, I've been to Memphis a couple times. Not the biggest fan of Memphis. And the Memphis Express didn't do well, but it's also the Alliance of American Football, who we know wasn't the greatest at marketing their product and getting people out to games. So I don't know. I can't really fault them for that. the city of Memphis at least. Should the XFL and USFL move certain teams to non-MLB NFL markets so they have no competition in those cities? Yeah, I mean, I think that the XFL has a nice blend. It's all about the blend. You can't do one or the other because you really need TV markets. And I think that the XFL is doing the best job of blending the two. The USFL really just has what? Birmingham. And I will say, I think that, and again, I could be wrong, but I think that probably Las Vegas is the city I'm most unsure about. Not Don't really know where they got Vegas. Maybe just because it's a cool city, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Vegas placement for the XFL. I would have rather had like, yeah, a team in Sacramento would have been cool. I would have rather had mm, San Diego, maybe. Um, Oklahoma City could always be a cool place. And I'll answer my last question because we're 6 minutes over, but that was also because of the technical difficulties that we had. Thanks for those of you being patient, staying on. Do you see the Houston Gamblers not playing in the, sorry, oh my gosh. We have, how do you kick people? We have bots. Block user. Never done that before. All right. Oh my gosh. How do I block these people? Y'all see these people too, right? I mean, I'm trying hard to block. Oh my. All right. Well, I'm just going to answer this question and get off. Yeah, odd operator. Yes, you are correct on that. Those things are so annoying. I delete their comments, block them. They're always freaking on here. All right. Do you see the Houston Gamblers not playing in Houston due to the XFL? That is a valid point. I'm wondering that same thing myself. TDECU Stadium. Now, here's one thing about the Houston Gamblers. I think that they're going to be playing in Rice's Stadium. You know why? Because the Spring League played in Rice's Stadium in Houston already, and they already have that relationship with Rice University. And I just think that that's a no-brainer. And from what we know, the TSL has basically turned itself into the USFL. So I think that they'll play in different stadiums. It's going to be hard to get fans, but it'll be interesting to see that fight. Guys, thanks for staying on. I sorry about the complications with the internet and the stream messing up, and also apologize for the bots in the stream. Thanks for watching the End Zone, guys. Though, make sure to move the chains, get out there, and watch the CFL game tonight coming out pretty soon.